Will the 76th commencement of Chestnut Hill College please come to order? Good afternoon and welcome to Chestnut Hill College. We gather to recognize the accomplishments of the class of 2003 and to award them the degrees they have earned through their hard work and commitment to academic endeavors. Both we and they have reason to be proud on this day of great celebration and rejoicing. The invocation will be delivered by Charlita Brown, class of 2003, a graduate of the School of Continuing Studies. Felicia Trujillo, class of 2004, College for Women, will lead us in the singing of the national anthem. Please remain standing for the invocation and the national anthem.
Almighty God, we thank you for this opportunity to express our gratitude for the diverse experiences we encountered while attending Chestnut Hill College. As we come together from different cultures and different backgrounds, we graciously share a common goal of academic achievement, and we thank you, God. We thank you for the wisdom and knowledge to appreciate higher learning as an extraordinary task and accomplishment. We ask that you continue to strengthen and guide us as we pursue future endeavors, and help us to always remember that all things are possible through you. You are our strength, our salvation, and our might, and through you may we continue to overcome all obstacles. We thank you for the staff, faculty, fellow classmates, friends, and family that helped us, supported, challenged, and encouraged us along the way. And most of all, God, we thank you for the opportunity to enhance self-awareness and self-growth while building effective relationships at Chestnut Hill College through the many blessings you have bestowed upon us. Amen. Amen.
Sister Patricia Kelly, Chair of the Board of Directors, distinguished present and past members of the Board of Directors, Mr. Timothy Russert, our guest speaker, administrators, faculty, staff, students, friends, guests, and graduates of the class of 2003. Good afternoon. I would like to acknowledge a few of the very special guests who have joined us on the platform today. Sister Mary Xavier Kirby, the fourth president of the college. Sister Margaret Fleming, the Superior General of the Sisters of St. Joseph and immediate past chair of the Board of Directors, 1989 to 1999. Sister Dorothea Newell, Superior General of the Sisters of St. Joseph and past chair of the Board of Directors, 1979 to 1989. And Regina Maxwell Schwilly, class of 1965, President of the Alumni Association. We welcome you and thank you for taking time to join us today. For 145 years, the Sisters of St. Joseph have ministered to women on this sloping hillside, committed to the belief that on the education of women largely depends the future of society. The Sisters of St. Joseph established Mount St. Joseph Academy in 1858 and Chestnut Hill College in 1924. They built elaborate, magnificently picturesque, but highly functional and durable buildings, first for the academy and then for the college. To ensure the excellence of these institutions, they educated future sister teachers and professors at some of the best colleges and universities in the country. The mark of these outstanding professors is clearly evident in the professional and personal quality of the college's graduates. This afternoon, as part of the commencement, we honor the 79 years of the College for Women, and we symbolically mark the transition to co-education. As we acknowledge this ending, we also celebrate beginnings, the awarding of the first master's degrees in the administration of human services and the conferral of the college's first earned doctoral degrees. During the past 79 years, the college has experienced steady growth as an institution, evolving from an undergraduate school awarding baccalaureate degrees to include schools of graduate and continuing studies. Now the college goes through yet another evolution. While we continue to be committed to the education of women, we recognize that the best way for Chestnut Hill College to educate women for the 21st century is to educate women and men together. Building upon this tradition, we once again risk change. I dwell in possibility, wrote poet Emily Dickinson. As we turn the page of the present to write the first chapter of our future, Chestnut Hill College dwells in possibility. Because we believe that the future is anticipated in the mind's eye of those who see the possibilities and seize them, we move forward with full confidence in the path we have chosen. We will now commemorate the years during which the College for Women educated undergraduate women. To symbolize these years, the College for Women graduates will present roses to signify each year of our 79-year history. Sister Patricia Kelly, Present Superior General of the Sisters of St. Joseph and Chair of the Board of Directors, will assist with the ritual. Will the students in the College for Women please stand? President, Mother Mary James Rogers, 1924 to 1942. Dean, Sister Maria Coscalogue, 1924 to 1942. 1924 to 1925.
1925, 1926.
1926 to 1927.
1927, 1928.
1928 to 1929.
1929 to 1930.
1930 to 1931.
1931 to 1932.
1932 to 1933.
1933 to 1934.
1934 to 1935.
1935 to 1936.
1936 to 1937,
1937 to 1938,
1938 to 1939,
1939 to 1940,
1940 to 1941,
1941 to 1942. Chairs of the Board of Directors. Mother Mary Berkman Stoffel, 1943. Mother Thekla Brennan, 1944 to 1956. Acting President, Sister Maria Koskalog, 1942. President, Sister Maria Koskalog, 1942 to 1954.
1942 to 1943,
1943 to 1944.
1944 to 1945,
1945 to 1946.
1946 to 1947,
1947 to 1948.
1948 to 1949,
1949 to 1950.
1950 to 1951,
1951 to 1952.
1952 to 1953,
1953 to 1954.
Chair of the Board, Reverend Mother Divine Shepherd Flaherty, 1956 to 1968. President, Sister Catherine Francis Redmond, 1954 to 1968. 1954 to 1955.
1955 to 1956.
1956 to 1957.
1957 to 1958.
1958 to 1959.
1959 to 1960.
1960 to 1961.
1961 to 1962.
1962 to 1963.
1963 to 1964.
1964 to 1965.
1965 to 1966.
1966 to 1967.
1967 to 1968. Chair of the Board, Sister Alice Anita Murphy, 1968 to 1979. President, Sister Mary Xavier Kirby, 1968 to 1980.
1968 to 1969.
1969 to 1970.
1970 to 1971.
1971 to 1972.
1972 to 1973.
1973 to 1974.
1974 to 1975.
1975 to 1976.
1976 to 1977.
1977 to 1978.
1978 to 1979.
1979 to 1980.
Chairs of the Board, Sister Dorothea Newell, 1979 to 1989. Sister Margaret Fleming, 1989 to 1992. President, Sister Matthew Anita McDonald, 1980 to 1992. 1980 to 1981.
1981 to 1982.
1982 to 1983.
1983 to 1984.
1984 to 1985.
1985 to 1986.
1986 to 1987.
1987 to 1988.
1988 to 1989.
1989 to 1990.
1990 to 1991.
1991 to 1992.
We have an accelerated group. They finished before we did.
Chairs of the Board, Sister Margaret Fleming, 1992 to 1999. Sister Patricia Kelly, 1999 to the present. President, Sister Carol Jean Vale, 1992 to the present.
1992 to 1993.
1993 to 1994.
1994 to 1995.
1995 to 1996.
1996 to 1997.
1997 to 1998.
1998 to 1999.
1999 to 2000.
2000 to 2001.
2001 to 2002.
2002 to 2003.
For 79 years, Chestnut Hill College has been committed to the belief that on the education of women largely depends the future of society. Today, we celebrate the outstanding contributions of the College for Women and give thanks for the blessings these 79 years have brought to them and to our world. We rejoice in all the good that has been and all the good that will be because of the enduring legacy of Chestnut Hill College.
Thank you, Sister Patricia. Colleen Mary Garrity, class of 2003, a graduate of the College for Women, will give the welcome.
President, Sister Carol Jean Vale, members of the Board of Directors, Mr. Tim Russert, our esteemed administration, faculty, and staff, our cherished Sisters of St. Joseph, and our beloved families and friends. On behalf of the class of 2003, I wholeheartedly welcome you to the 76th commencement exercises of Chestnut Hill College. As I address you today, I am reminded of a book entitled A New and Untried Course by Dr. Stephen J. Peitzman. In this book, Dr. Peitzman chronicles the founding, growth, and evolution of the Female Medical College of Pennsylvania, the world's first school established in 1850 to offer formal medical training to women. Today, we are all bearing witness to Chestnut Hill College's new and untried course. For today's exercises are both the last of the College for Women, as well as the first at which doctoral degrees will be awarded. Today's commencement marks not only the beginning of a new era for the college, but also signifies the dawning of a new stage of our own lives. During our years at Chestnut Hill College, our lives have been a set course. We have completed this course through the support and guidance of many important and influential people. God has helped us set this course, as well as instilled in us the faith in Him and ourselves to accept it. Our families and friends have given us the love, support, and confidence necessary to undertake and complete this course. Our professors kept us moving at a steady pace, as well as gave us the knowledge we needed for the journey. The Sisters of St. Joseph cheered us on and acted as our surrogate family. Together, God, our families and friends, and the Chestnut Hill College community have given us all the necessary tools to successfully complete our collegiate course. However, today is not only an end, it is also a beginning. When we leave campus today, our lives truly become a new and untried course. Each one of us will embark on our own unique path, a course that has never and will never be duplicated. As you begin your new course, keep in mind two essential ideas. First, as an old English proverb states, every path has its puddle. There will always be dips in the road, At times, we may even lose our footing. However, these slips are simply opportunities to rebound, gain an even stronger hold, and rededicate ourselves to the task at hand. Speaking of rebound, just think. Michael Jordan has missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. He has lost over 300 games, and on 26 occasions, he was entrusted with the game-winning shot and missed it. Despite these statistics, Michael Jordan has been called one of the NBA's all-time greatest players. Of this record, Jordan stated, "I have failed over and over and over again in my life, and that's precisely why I succeed." Jordan's career exemplifies the fact that failing merely provides us with another opportunity to succeed. The second point I ask you to ponder is that a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. Because we are venturing out on a new and untried course, there are no maps or directions to guide us. Sometimes we may feel as though we have arrived at a dead end. However, a dead end is merely an opportunity to make a turn and embrace a new adventure. So when you leave campus today, go confidently in the direction of your dreams. Dare to live the life you imagined. Know that Chestnut Hill College has prepared you spiritually, academically, and professionally for whatever puddles or turns may arise on your course. In the words of a commencement speech delivered by Tom Brokaw, you are educated. Your certification is in your degree. You may think of it as the ticket to the good life. Let me ask you to think of an alternative. Think of it as your ticket to change the world. Congratulations on beginning your very own new and untried course. May your path have few puddles and just enough turns to keep life exciting. May your journey be blessed with success, health, cherished memories, and even a bit of adventure. Thank you and welcome.
Colleen, when I first heard you speak as a first-year student, you were excellent. You were truly superb this afternoon. And I want to tell you something another commencement speaker said. That commencement was Bill Cosby. And he said, commencement means go forth, not go home. On this occasion of the last commencement of the College for Women, it is my privilege to present the Chestnut Hill Medal and a framed citation to Sister Patricia Kelly, Superior General, in recognition of and appreciation for the 145 years of service of the Sisters of St. Joseph to girls and women on this campus. Lorraine Arelli, class of 1971, Vice President for Institutional Advancement, will read the resolution.
Whereas the Sisters of St. Joseph of Philadelphia, faithful to their belief that on the education of women largely depends the future of society, have devoted themselves to educating women for 145 years on this site, and whereas more than 300 Sisters of St. Joseph have provided more than 3,800 years of service on this site to Mount St. Joseph Academy and Chestnut Hill College, and whereas those sisters have educated more than 10,000 graduates of Chestnut Hill College and more than 7,000 graduates of Mount St. Joseph Academy, and whereas for 145 years the sisters have inspired their students to become women of learning, faith, service, courageous social action, and responsible citizenship, and have celebrated the many notable professional and personal accomplishments of their students. Therefore, be it resolved on this third day of May 2003 that the Chestnut Hill College community offers its sincere congratulations and heartfelt appreciation to the Sisters of St. Joseph of Philadelphia for their outstanding efforts as educators, leaders, and mentors of young women.
Gives me great pleasure to present you, Sister Patricia Kelly, the Chestnut Hill College Medal and a framed citation of the resolution. It is impossible to offer adequate gratitude to the Sisters of St. Joseph for their constant commitment to the college and for the spirit and energy they bring to their ministry. Surprise. "2,000 years ago, Cicero wrote, 'In nothing do men and women more approach the gods than in doing good to their fellow men and women.' Today's candidates for an honorary degree are persons who do immeasurable good for individuals, communities, and worthy causes. They honor us with their presence and providing us the opportunity to recognize and celebrate their selfless commitment to others. We are pleased to honor and to confer the honorary degree Doctor of Laws on Sister Diane Louise Driscoll, Chestnut Hill College graduate, class of 1963. Sister Mary K. Flannery, Assistant Professor of Religious Studies and Director of Cultural Diversity Initiatives, will present the candidate. Sister Patricia Kelly, Chair of the Board of Directors, will present the doctoral hood.
40 years ago, Sister Diane Driscoll was, like many of you here today, eagerly awaiting the awarding of her diploma from Chestnut Hill College. In that year, 1963, Sister Diane graduated with a BA in French and became a proud alumna of this inclusive Catholic community. To this day, she has remained faithfully committed to the mission and vision of this college in ways that are amazingly fresh, creative, and vibrant. Over the past 4 decades, Sister Diane served on the Chestnut Hill College Board of Directors for 2 terms and taught both French and religion in the college's summer sessions. Over these years, Sister Diane has responded to many changes in her life as a Sister of St. Joseph, and in response to the changing needs of the people that she served in many diverse places. What has remained constant in Sister Diane's life and heart over these 40 years is her deep conviction that the transformative experience that was hers in the gift of a Chestnut Hill College education was one that she was eager to make available to others as well. This desire to give the gift that she received has been manifested in myriad ways, but especially in Sister Diane's untiring efforts to organize and provide carpools for students to visit Chestnut Hill's beautiful campus. As a high school teacher for 38 years, 19 of which were served at Our Lady of Good Counsel, an inner-city high school in Newark, New Jersey, Sister Diane met many students who did not realize their giftedness and the potential they had to be among the first generation in their family to attend college. It is to these young people that Sister Diane has had a special commitment, since it is quite clear to her that they too have every right to the privilege of a college education. Thus, Sister Diane has worked dauntlessly to help make that dream financially possible for many young women and men. One of the most creative means for which Sister Diane has become quite well known in North Jersey and beyond, is her year-round collection of items to sell at church flea markets, the benefits of which all go to provide scholarships for her students' college education. One young woman, of whom Sister Diane is especially proud, just completed her undergraduate degree at Chestnut Hill College in May of 2002. Rose Gabrielle Dillon, who was born in Liberia, is currently using her computer science skills to serve as a volunteer for the United Nations in Tanzania, East Africa. Rose is just one inspiring example of Sister Diane's long legacy of inviting young people to reach their highest potential, and in turn, to pass on that gift of loving service in the name of justice to other persons and communities in need. Sister Diane Driscoll is a teacher at heart, and her passionate concern for her students has expanded her heart to the point where she loves all of them as if there were only one of them. Her desire that each child on earth have the chance to inherit a more peaceful world has prompted Sister Diane to proclaim a personal vow of nonviolence, to contribute to the healing and reconciling love so needed in a world torn apart by war and oppression of every kind. The constitutions of the Sisters of St. Joseph speak of a cordial and hospitable spirit, a willing heart ready for any and every good work, a quiet sense of hiddenness coupled with a desire to serve to the best of our ability. This life of untiring zeal and gentle boldness that Sister Diane has freely chosen over the past 40 years stands out as a living document, not only of a committed Sister of St. Joseph, but of the selfless, justice-oriented mission of a Chestnut Hill College alumna. Sister President, it is a great privilege and a special joy to present to you Sister Diane Louise Driscoll, role model, social advocate, peacemaker, and teacher at heart, for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Sister Diane Louise Driscoll, faithful alumna and friend of the college, whose life embodies the spirit and substance of the mission of Chestnut Hill College, I am pleased to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Thank you, Sister President Carol Jean Vale, faculty, administration, board of directors of Chestnut Hill College, for this great honor, which I share with my mother and father. My former professors from Chestnut Hill College, my high school principals, Sisters of St. Joseph, associates, friends, and members of the class of '63 in this, our 40th reunion year. Class of 2003, today is your day, and I offer you my adaptation of Psalm 23. Chestnut Hill, you are my college. You give me everything I need. You lead me to cool waters to refresh my spirit. You lead me along right paths, for you yourself are true and good. Even when I pass through the dark valleys, I fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and staff support me always. Surely, goodness and kindness will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the home of your heart, Chestnut Hill, as you dwell in mine. To quote Sister Carol Jean Vale, a Chestnut Hill College education is a gift that lasts a lifetime. Today you begin to unwrap yours. May you share it well, class of 2003. Congratulations.
Thank you, Diane. This afternoon, we are pleased to honor and to confer the honorary degree Doctor of Laws on Anne Rusnick Sorgenti, class of 1958. Dr. Barbara Longquist, Associate Professor of English, will present the honorary degree candidate. Dr. Barbara Diorio Martino, class of 1960, and a member of the Board of Directors of Chestnut Hill College, will present the doctoral hood.
The legacy of the women's colleges that flourished in the 20th century has justly been associated with the successful alumnae those colleges have sent into the world. Many of our nation's female doctors, scientists, artists, teachers, politicians, and businesswomen trace their roots to colleges such as Chestnut Hill. The success of our own mission can be proudly measured in the quality and the scope of the activities carried out by the alumna we honor today, Anne Rusnick Sorgenti. Despite that famous jest, "What's in a name?" we know that names do signify and hold a lasting place in our hearts. The name Sorgenti Arena, crowning the long-coveted space on the ground floor of Martino Hall, claims just such a place in the history of this college. What may not be as clear to future young men and women who will begin their days at CHC in this bright arena is just how fitting is the match between the words Sorgenti and arena. Not only does the name testify to the generosity of the alumna who labored toward this goal, it also traces the arena of Anne Sorgenti's life work in the community of which this Philadelphia college is a part. A graduate of Philadelphia High School for Girls, Anne Rusnick entered Chestnut Hill College as a biology major in the honors program. Upon graduation, she returned to the Philadelphia public school system as a teacher of high school biology and earned a master's degree from Temple University. After her marriage to Harold Sorgenti and mothering their daughters, Elizabeth and Lucille, Mrs. Sorgenti turned to the world of business and a round of activities, civic activities, and those supporting the arts. The institutions which count her among their trustees or committee chairs are both numerous and impressive. Along with serving on the board of trustees of Chestnut Hill College and as chair of its capital campaign from 1998 to the present, Anne Sorgenti has served on the boards of the Franklin Institute Museum, the Arden Theater, the Academy of Music Committee, the Philadelphia Drama Guild, Philadelphia Hospitality, and the World Affairs Council. She has chaired committees for the Philadelphia Orchestra, the American Heart Association, the American Music Theater Festival, the Regional Performing Arts Center, and the Chamber of Commerce. Her commitment to youth can be seen in her service to blocks, business leaders organized for Catholic schools, to the Boy Scouts of America, and as a board member of both St. Maria Goretti High School in South Philly and the Academy of Notre Dame in Villanova. And her list goes on. If one wonders how Anne Sorgenti manages to do it all, we are told she is active by 5 a.m., even on weekends. We can only speculate when the sun sets on her labors. In Yeats's tribute to the nation's heroes and the champions of arts, whose portraits hung before him in Dublin's Municipal Gallery, he wrote, "Come to this hallowed place where my friends' portraits hang and look thereon. Ireland's history is in their lineaments trace. think where man's glory most begins and ends, and say, my glory was I had such friends. The glory of this college for women from 1924 to 2003 is traced in the lineaments of alumni such as Anne Sorgenti. Sister President, it is my privilege to present my sister alumna, Anne Rusnak Sorgenti, friend to the entire Philadelphia area and beloved friend of Chestnut Hill College, for the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
I have to mention that at an historic graduation, you have also an historic moment. That two of the largest donors to the college stood together, Dr. Barbara Martino, who already has an honorary degree from Chestnut Hill College, and now Dr. Anne Sorgenti, who made possible Martino Hall, that this class has enjoyed throughout its time here at Chestnut Hill. Anne Rusnak Sorgenti, for your ever-faithful friendship to Chestnut Hill College, your exemplary commitment to multiple worthy causes, your outstanding example as wife, mother, woman of faith, and your great generosity to your alma mater. It is my joy and an honor to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. This afternoon, we are pleased to honor and to confer the honorary degree Doctor of Laws on Harold A. Sorgenti. They are related. Dr. Robert Meyer, Professor of Biology, will present the honorary degree candidate. Nadia Shmavonian, a member of the Board of Directors of Chestnut Hill College, will present the doctoral hood.
It is my pleasure to present to you Harold A. Sorgenti. Mr. Sorgenti, a native of New York City, received his Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering from City College of New York and completed his Master's degree in Chemical Engineering at Ohio State University. As a young man, he began a successful 32-year career with Atlantic Richfield and Arco Chemical Company, beginning as an assistant development engineer and rising to the post of president and CEO of Arco Chemical. In 1991, he co-founded Freedom Chemical Company and served as its chairman from 1991 to 1996. In 1996, he left Freedom Chemical and founded Sorgenti Investment Partners in order to pursue other chemical investment opportunities. Mr. Sorgenti holds 10 United States patents, which have led to 4 new commercial chemical processes, including one that is the basis of Arco Chemical's position as the world's leading producer of propylene oxide. Mr. Sorgenti has played an active role in the affairs of his profession. He is a member of many professional organizations and has served as a chair of more than a few, including the Chemical Manufacturers Association, the American section of the Society of Chemical Industry, and currently the Chemical Heritage Foundation. He has received many accolades, including the Winthrop Sears Medal, awarded for entrepreneurial and community leadership, the Chemical Marketing Research Association Memorial Award, and the Commercial Development Association Honor Award. Just last month, he received the Petrochemical Heritage Award, recognizing individuals who make outstanding contributions to the petrochemical community, who inspire achievement, and who promote public understanding of the modern sciences, industries, and economies. Besides his professional achievements, Mr. Sorgenti devotes a great deal of his time to serving the city of Philadelphia, both in the business sector and in the arts. He has served as chair of the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce and is currently a director of Crown Cork and Seal. Previously, he served on the boards of the Provident Mutual Life Insurance Company, Core States Financial Corporation, and the Philadelphia Trust Company. He has received the prestigious William Penn Award from the Chamber of Commerce, as well as the Philip H. Ward Jr. Award from the Franklin Institute. Mr. Sorgenti has also served as chair of the board of the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts and is currently the president of the Academy of Music, a director of the Philadelphia Orchestra Association, and a director of the Regional Performing Arts Center. The Sorgentis are lovers and collectors of art and have many times lent out pieces from their private collection for public exhibition. Sister President, it is my privilege to present to you Harold A. Sorgenti, scientist, entrepreneur, patron of the arts, and good friend of Chestnut Hill College, for the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Harold A. Sorgenti, for your innumerable contributions to the communities in which you live, your integrity as a successful businessman, your unyielding dedication as a husband, father, and man of faith and principle, whose generosity has made a lasting and historic difference to the college. I am privileged and grateful to be able to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Sister Carol Jean Vale, Sisters of St. Joseph, Sister Diane Driscoll, Mr. Russert, members of the faculty, members of the board of directors, graduates, and guests. My husband and I are deeply grateful at Chestnut Hill College today. We are very humbled by this great honor, but we are also very proud. We are proud because we accept and dedicate these degrees to the memories of our parents. Our parents who came from that wonderful generation of people way back in the 1950s, whose main goal in life was to give their children a college education, something they never had. They worked so hard to make that happen for us, and they would be so proud today. We will always be grateful to them because our college education opened up a whole new world to my husband and me. I cannot imagine where we would be without it. So Chestnut Hill College, by honoring us today, you honor our parents, and we thank you very much for that. Today, we know that the most important people here are the people who are about to graduate. And for those of you receiving advanced degrees from the various disciplines of the college, we send our sincere congratulations. And to the class of 2003, the College for Women, my alma mater, and my late sisters, and how proud I am today of your wonderful speech, Colleen, and Sister Diane. You make me even prouder. But I want you all to know that I have always been so proud to be a graduate of Chestnut Hill College. And why am I proud? That's easy. I'm proud because Chestnut Hill College graduates stand for something. They always have, and they always will. Yes, in this crazy, mixed-up world, we still manage to stand for something. And we stand for something good. We not only stand for something, we stand up for what is right and just, because we have the values of the Sisters of St. Joseph embedded in our spirits. Those values are with us for the good times and the bad times, and they play such an important role in the critical and difficult decisions we have to make in life. The great strength of those Chestnut Hill College values remains with us to guide us and direct us on our journey through life. So to the class of 2003 who are about to go on that journey, take it from a very old Chestnut Hill College graduate, get ready. You are in for an amazing journey through life as a graduate of this great school. Go on that journey, travel that road, remembering always that caring for the people you meet on that road comes first, and the rest will follow. God bless you, and congratulations.
Anne and Hal are not only worthy of being recognized in their own rights, they're worthy of being recognized as a couple. Seldom have I met a man and a woman so much in love after so many years of marriage. And not only that, they are each other's best friends. And I wish for all of you that kind of relationship. This afternoon, we are pleased to honor and to confer the honorary degree Doctor of Laws on Timothy J. Russert. Dr. Dominic Cotugno, Assistant Professor of Education, will present the honorary degree candidate. Mrs. Mary Ann Wallacey, class of 1987, and a member of the Board of Directors, will present the doctoral hood.
You all passed, it's okay. I have the privilege of introducing the finest political interviewer on television today. Tim Russert is the moderator of Meet the Press and political analyst for NBC's Nightly News with Tom Brokaw and The Today Show. He also anchors The Tim Russert Show, a weekly program on CNBC that examines the role of the media in American society. Mr. Russert is the Senior Vice President and Washington Bureau Chief for NBC News and is also a contributing anchor for MSNBC. Mr. Russert first appeared on NBC News in 1990 and took over the helm of Meet the Press in December of the next year. Since then, Meet the Press has become the most watched Sunday morning interview program in America and the most quoted news program in the world. Mr. Russert has interviewed every major figure on the American political scene. In 2001, the Washingtonian magazine named Mr. Russert the best and most influential journalist in Washington, D.C., describing Meet the Press as the most interesting and important hour on television. In my opinion, when one examines CBS, ABC, and NBC, it can be concluded that only Tim is indeed fair and balanced. His Decision 2000 Meet the Press interviews with George W. Bush and Al Gore won Radio and Television Correspondents Association's highest honor, the Joan S. Barone Award for Excellence in Journalism, and the USC Annenberg Center's Walter Cronkite Award. Mr. Russert is also the recipient of the John Peter Zenger Award, the American Legion Journalism Award, and the Alan H. North Award for Excellence in Journalism. Mr. Russert was born in Buffalo, New York on May 7, 1950. He is a graduate of Canisius High School, John Carroll University, and graduated with honors from the Cleveland Marshall College of Law. He is admitted to the bar in New York and the District of Columbia. Mr. Russert is married to Maureen Orth, a writer for Vanity Fair magazine. They live in Washington, D.C. with their son, Luke. A fear that I have is that when I die and when I reach the pearly gates, I will be greeted not by St. Peter, but by Tim Russert, who will utter the dreaded phrase, "Please look at the monitor while I read what you had to say in 1975. Sister President, it is my honor to present to you Timothy J. Russert for the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Timothy J. Russert, for your contributions to the political conversations in our nation, your balance and integrity in reporting, your love of country expressed in the pursuit of truth and openness, and your commitment to your family and your faith, it is my distinct privilege to confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. The commencement address will now be delivered by Dr. Russert.
Thank you, Sister, and distinguished honorees, distinguished guests, and class of 2003. Before all else, congratulations, you have finally made it. I am often asked my favorite Washington story. As you might expect, it is a bipartisan tale. In the proud tradition and objectivity of Meet the Press, it involves a Democrat named James Carville and his very Republican wife, Mary Madeline. They were on Meet the Press discussing the issues of the day. The camera went off. Their conversation continued. In the hallway, in the parking lot, in the automobile, I saw them careening down Nebraska Avenue in Northwest. The next day I called and I said, James and Mary, television and politics are one thing, but marriage is much more important. Are you okay? And James said, Mr. Russell, let me tell you what happened. Suddenly there was a man behind me with a flashing light. He pulled me over and said, "Sir, you're going 40 and a 25. I said, "Officer, I'm a law-abiding citizen of the state of Louisiana, working here in the District of Columbia. I would never violate the law." He said, "Sir, you're going 40 and a 25. I want your license and your registration." "Officer, you don't seem to understand." Mary leaned over and said, "Officer, he's a Democrat. He's lying." James said, "Woman, what is wrong with you? My lawful wedded wife, the heaven, the whole, rich and poor, but for worse, how could you possibly say such a thing?" Police officer said, "Ma'am, does your husband always talk to you that way on a Sunday morning?" Mary smiled and said, "Only when he's been drinking, officer." Life in Washington can be very tough. I remember former White House Chief of Staff John Sununu was having a very hard time with former President Bush's administration. He approached the revered First Lady, Barbara Bush, and said, "Barbara, I need your help, your guidance, your wisdom, your counsel. Why is it that people seem to take such an instant dislike to me?" And she looked at him and said, "Because it saves time, John." He resigned 6 weeks later. Now, however, before you can begin to move on to the next phase of your lives, you must undergo the last grueling hurdle in your career here at Chestnut Hill College, the commencement address. Let me be honest with you about my experiences with commencement addresses. I have been through several of my own, I've sat through dozens of others, and I can't recall a single word or phrase from any of those informed, inspirational, and seemingly interminable speeches. In preparing for today, I had thought about presenting a scholarly treatise on campaign finance reform, but I thought better of it. I guess I'm like that noted philosopher Yogi Berra. I get it eventually. After he flunked his history exam, the teacher ran down the aisle, shook him, and said, "Yogi, don't you know anything?" Yogi looked up and said, "I don't even suspect anything." Yes, this is the same Yogi Berra who asked whether he wanted his pizza cut into 6 or 8 slices, said 6, "I can't eat 8. This is the second most humbling day of my life. The first was in 1985. I was granted an extraordinary opportunity, a private audience with the Holy Father, Pope John Paul II. I'll never forget it. The door opened and there was the Pope dressed in white. He walked solemnly into the room, and at that time it seemed as large as this tent. I was there to convince His Holiness it was in his interest to appear on the Today program. But my thoughts quickly turned from Bryant Gumbel's career and NBC's ratings toward the prospect of salvation. As the Vicar of Christ approached me, you heard this tough, no-nonsense, hard-hitting moderator of Meet the Press begin our conversation by saying, "Bless me, Father." He took my arm and said, "You are the man called Timothy from NBC." I said, "I am your guy. Don't forget this face." He said, "They tell me you're a very important man at the network." Taken aback, I said, "Your Holiness, with all due and deep respect, there's only 2 of us in this room, and I'm certainly a most distant second." He put his hands on my shoulders, looked me in the eyes, smiled, and said, "Right." In that humble spirit, it is not often you have a chance to meet and talk with people who share the same background and the same values, so let me skip the temptation of lecturing to you and instead take a very few minutes to have a conversation with the class of 2003. Like each of you, my life changed forever on September 11th, 2001 at 8:46 a.m. I do not believe the English language does include the words we need to express our sorrow for what happened on that day. Only in our hearts can we give full and complete expression of our grief and shocking sense of loss and the agony of seeing our nation so violated. My dad was a truck driver and a sanitation man. He worked 2 full-time jobs for 30 years, and he never complained. And that was after he helped win World War II. That is the story of his generation. He never graduated from high school, but he taught me more by his example, his hard work, his basic decency, his intense love of family and country. He taught me the true lessons of life. And these lessons have sustained me from September 11th and on. Simply put, there are people who want to destroy our nation, our people, men, women, and children. It makes no difference. Our institutions, our way of life, our freedom. For the media, The war on terrorism is not analogous to reporting the Florida recount or a presidential impeachment or a missing intern. When covering military operations, the media should lower our voices and modulate our tone. We may be journalists, but we are also American citizens. Indeed, the press and the government will have and should have serious disagreements over what is fair and timely and relevant news coverage, even how to define national security. And good journalism should also report and respect the legitimacy of dissent to government policy. But we must never report anything which puts our troops at risk, and we must always reject any attempt to suggest a moral equivalency between the United States of America and the terrorists. As a young boy, I remember so vividly President John Kennedy's inaugural address. President Kennedy ended with these words, "With history the final judge of our deeds, let us go forth to lead the land we love, asking his blessing and his help, but knowing that here on earth, God's work must truly be our own." What is God's work here on earth? Understanding that, I believe, is the key to a meaningful life, the essence of our earthly existence. I am the first person in my family to have a chance to go to college. I attended John Carroll University, a Jesuit school, where I received a superb education, and so too with you. You chose a school that was different, and you made the choice deliberately. The education you've received at Chestnut Hill isn't meant to be the same you could have received at scores of colleges, public or private, in this city or across this country. You've been given an education that says it's not enough to have a skill, not enough to have read all the books or know all the facts, that values really do matter. Chestnut Hill College, a Catholic school founded by the Sisters of St. Joseph. Its only justification for existing is because it has a special mission, training young women, and next year, undergraduate young men, to help shape and influence the moral tone and fiber of our nation and our society. And that now means you have a special obligation and responsibility. You have been blessed with extraordinary opportunities. And as St. Luke tells us, to whom much is given, much indeed is expected. Graduating from Chestnut Hill has given you incredible advantages over others in your generation. I too have heard the sometimes smug remarks about small Catholic colleges. You think you've had it bad, you should try to be a Buffalo Bills fan in Washington, D.C. I actually took Meet the Press to the Super Bowl a few years ago. At the end of the program, I looked into the camera and I said, now it's in God's hands. And God is good and God is just. Please, God, one time, go Bills. My colleague, Tom Brokaw, jumped up and said, you Irish Catholics from South Buffalo are shameless. You can't pray on the public airwaves. I said, you'll see the power of prayer, Brokaw. Well, as I moped back from the stadium after the Dallas Cowboys snuck by the Bills 52-17, the first person I saw was, of course, Brokaw, who yelled across the room, hey, Russert, I guess God's a Southern Baptist. You have something others would give anything for. You believe in something, in your God, in your country, in your family, in yourselves, in your values. Remember the message our parents and grandparents and teachers repeated and repeated and repeated and tried to instill in us. A belief if you worked hard and played fair, things really would turn out all right. And after working for senators and governors and meeting a pope and interviewing presidents, I think they might be right. Will Rogers put it this way, it sure seems funny, the older I get, the smarter my mother and father seem to get. The values you have been taught, the struggles you have survived, the diploma you're about to receive have prepared you to compete with anybody, anywhere. Reject the conventional wisdom that success is only for the rich or the very privileged or the Ivy League educated. Don't believe it. I didn't. Because young people with real values have a way of helping and teaching and connecting with one another. People with backgrounds like yours and mine can and will make a difference. In Poland, there was a young electrician, Lech Walesa, the son of a carpenter, who transformed the nation from communism to democracy. In South Africa, Nelson Mandela, a brave black man who worked his way through law school as a police officer, spending 28 years in prison to make one central point. We indeed are all created equal. And on September 1, 2000, won at the World Trade Center in the Pentagon. It was our brother and sister police, fire and rescue workers who properly redefined modern-day heroism. All these men and women have one thing in common with you. Like the past, the future leaders of this country and this world will be born not to the blood of kings and queens, but to the blood of immigrants and pioneers. It is now your turn. You will have the opportunity to be doctors and nurses and lawyers, bankers, accountants, social workers, soldiers, journalists, entrepreneurs, business people, teachers, and more. And in those vital professions, your contributions can be enormous. You can help save lives, provide prosperity, record history, prevent disease, train young minds. And you will succeed, and you will make a difference if you accept the simple fact your family and education and values have prepared you for this challenge as well as anyone in this country. And always remember it is your grandparents and your parents who defended this country, who built this country, who brought you into this world and a chance to live the American dream. Will your generation do as much for your children? You know you must. Every generation is tested, given the opportunity to become the greatest generation. And so too with the Chestnut Hill College graduates of 2003. You were born and educated to be players in this extraordinary blessing called life. Go climb that ladder of success and live and work in comfort and enjoy yourselves. You've earned it. That is the American way. But please do this world one small favor. Remember the people struggling alongside you and below you, the people who haven't had the same opportunity, the same blessings, the same Chestnut Hill education. Most important, please remember the children who need help. If we are serious about being the world's premier military, economic, and military force in the world, and dare I say, moral force as well, we have no choice. We will need all of our children contributing and prospering. America's Promise, the Alliance for Youth, says it best. The mission must be to mobilize people from every section of American life to build the character and competence of our nation's youth by fulfilling 5 promises. All our children must have ongoing relationships with caring adults, parents, mentors, tutors, and coaches, safe places with structured activities during non-school hours, a healthy start and a healthy future, marketable skills through effective education, and then opportunities to give back through community service. We can build more prisons, and we will, and put more police on the street, but unless we instill in our young people the most basic social skills and cultural and moral values, we will be a very different society. We must motivate, inspire, insist our children respect one another, and yes, love thy neighbor as thyself. No matter what profession you choose, you must try, even in the smallest ways, to improve the quality of life of children in our country. No matter what your political philosophy, reach down from that ladder and see if there isn't some child you can pull up a rung or two. Some are sick, some are lonely, some are uneducated. Most have little control over their fate. Give them a hand, give them a chance, give them their dignity. We must teach our children they are never, never entitled, but they are always, always loved. There is indeed a very simple truth. No exercise is better for the human heart than reaching down to lift up another person. That is your charge. That is your challenge. That is your opportunity. That's what I believe it means to be a member of the class of 2003 of Chestnut Hill College. For the good of all of us, please build a future we can be proud of. But please get busy. You only have 2,300 weeks before you'll be eligible for Social Security. I have to leave now to go back to Washington to prepare to interview Secretary of State Colin Powell tomorrow morning. But before I go, have a wonderful life, take care of one another, be careful tonight, Chestnut Hill ladies forever, God bless, and of course, go Griffins.
What was very unusual about getting Mr. Russert to come here was I only had to call one time to get a response. And his secretary said to me he really likes to do this for Catholic colleges and universities because he likes to give back for all that he's been given. She said, you know, he had a Catholic education, and I said, oh really? I thought he had a Jesuit education. Seriously, Mr. Russert, people like Cokie Roberts, Chris and Kathleen Matthews do make a commitment to go to Catholic colleges and universities to speak when they are asked in order to give back for what they have been given. When you think how difficult it is to get a commencement speaker who doesn't want 10, 15, 20, 25,000, even as much as $50,000 to come, and you think of people who realize what they have received and who are willing to give back from full and grateful hearts, I think the meaning of Mr. Russert's words become even clearer and hopefully more inspiring because he is the word he speaks. Thank you. It is now my privilege to present the President's Award for Outstanding Academic Achievement. A commemorative medal specially designed for this award will be presented in recognition of outstanding academic achievement to those graduates in the College for Women who have completed 8 consecutive semesters of college, all at Chestnut Hill College, earned a grade point average of 3.9 or better, and are graduating summa cum laude. Will the following College for Women graduates please join me on the platform? Karen S. Wendling, major Chemistry and Environmental Science, GPA 3.992 based on 8 semesters. Karen, I want to know which faculty member gave you the B+. Oh, it's an A-. Laura B. Sunny, major English, GPA 3.963 based on 8 semesters. Anna I. O'Connor, major Mathematics and Computer Science, GPA 3.921 based on 8 semesters. Congratulations to each of you for your outstanding academic achievement. With pride and admiration, we salute you and your accomplishments. May you use your God-given intellectual gifts for the good of others and the benefit of society. And now the deans of the School of Undergraduate Studies, the School of Graduate Studies, and the School of Continuing Studies will present the medals to the candidates. Congratulations. Thank you for your hard work. And now, for the long-anticipated moment, the conferral of degrees on the class of 2003. The last conferral of degrees for the College for Women. Sister Cecilia J. Kavanaugh, Dean for the College for Women, and Acting Dean Jennifer Wofford, School of Continuing Studies, will present the candidates for the degrees Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science.
Candidates for Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees in the College for Women, please stand. Sister President, the candidates whose names appear in the official commencement program under the headings Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science in the College for Women have completed satisfactorily the required courses of study at Chestnut Hill College and have complied faithfully with the standards of this institution. Therefore, as Dean of the College for Women, I have the honor to present these bachelor candidates to you.
By the authority vested in me as President of Chestnut Hill College, under her charter from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer upon you the degrees Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science to which you are recommended, admitting you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto throughout the world, signed and sealed in the Great Seal, in testimony whereof you will receive the diploma of the college.
In order that each graduate's name be heard, I ask that the members of the audience reserve their applause until all the graduates have received their diplomas. Honors listed in the commencement program reflect the student's GPA calculated after the fall semester. Honors announced today reflect the GPA calculated after the spring semester. All may be seated except for the Bachelors of Arts. For the degree Bachelor of Arts, Doris Maria Acevedo, Rachel F. Adams, Trudy Lynn Bondura, magna cum laude, Rebecca Lynn Borsos. Dr. David Borsos, Assistant Professor of Psychology, will assist the President in the presentation of his daughter's diploma. Wendy Catrona, Ashley Cortese, Karen Maria Couto, Jasmine Delgado, Claire Eileen Donovan, Megan Ann Donovan, Nancy M. Flanagan, magna cum laude, Patricia A. Furden, Jillian Taylor Getting, magna cum laude, Melissa A. Gilligan, Mrs. Joanne Gilligan, a staff member of the School of Graduate Studies, will assist the President in the presentation of her daughter's diploma. Natalie R. Green, Colleen Maloney Haldis, summa cum laude, Fatima Henderson, Rebecca Lynn Horner, Carrie Michelle Kohler, Maria Davy Lynn, Jamie Lee Laus, summa cum laude, Donna Grace Martin, magna cum laude, Brigitte Maynard Boni, summa cum laude, Stacy Ann Minnick, Margaret Ellen Mitchell, summa cum laude, Susana Palage de Leon, magna cum laude,
Antoinette Peters. Myra R. Castillo Runhead, cum laude. Arlene S. Rosen. Christine Ann Soxo, magna cum laude. Laura B. Sunny, summa cum laude. Melissa Eileen Stavey. Aisha S. Thrice West. Luz Dari Visi. Gail Marie West. Will the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science please stand? Victoria Constantine Alpharitis. Mary Margaret Armrine, cum laude. Colleen Marie Bant. Sharon M. Barber. Mindy Jo Barksdale. Kina Sheree Carroll. Danielle Lorraine Conlon. Margaret M. Court. Elizabeth L. Curry. Darlene Danita Della Pena. Erica DeLong. Donna Maria Dukes, summa cum laude. Jessica Eileen Egan. Megan Rose Field, magna cum laude. Colleen Mary Garrity, magna cum laude. Deborah J. Gleason. Samantha Elizabeth Gordon. Jessica Guzman. Pearl A. Young Hum. Christine Ann Hurst. Crystal Yolanda Holiday. Christina Lancelotti. Darling Yolanda Lawyer. Jamie Lee Lester. Nadine Cecilia Lester. Anita Elizabeth Lyden. Melissa Lynn McCoy. Megan Marie McHugh, cum laude. Megan Ann Moyer. Anna K. O'Connor, summa cum laude. Shanira Adama Anakogo. Mary Phillip. Sarah E. Reedy, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Riley. Carrie Melissa Romberg. Katie Lynn Schubert, cum laude. Karen Denise Simon, summa cum laude. Amy Elizabeth Slater. Alicia A. Smith. Becky Sue Stortenberger. Maria Cavagnaro Trattamontina. Anne-Marie Waldman. Karen Soretta Wendling, summa cum laude. Tara L. Wheatley. Nafisa Wilson. Lisa Michelle Wismer, magna cum laude.
Congratulations, Bachelors of Arts and Bachelors of Science. Sister Roseanne Quinn, Dean of the Graduate Division, will present the candidates for master's degrees. I'm sorry, after we present the degrees. I knew it was too short. To the School of Continuing Studies. Actually, you'll appreciate this. I was just trying to accelerate things.
Candidates for the Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science degrees in the School of Continuing Studies, please stand. Sister President, the candidates whose names appear in the official commencement program under the headings Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science in the School of Continuing Studies have completed satisfactorily the required courses of study at Chestnut Hill College and have complied faithfully with the standards of this institution. Therefore, as acting dean of the School of Continuing Studies, I have the honor to present these bachelor candidates to you.
By the authority vested in me as president of Chestnut Hill College under her charter from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer upon you the degree Bachelor of Arts and Bachelor of Science to which you are recommended, admitting you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto throughout the world. Signed and sealed in the Great Seal, in testimony whereof you will receive the diploma of the college.
Once again, before presenting the candidates for the diplomas, we ask that the members of the audience reserve their applause until all have received their diplomas. Everyone except for Bachelor of Arts, please be seated. For the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Aldeshawn Atkins. Ricardo Luis Colon Baez, magna cum laude. Vanessa Christine Boyd. Ehana Elaine Davis. William L. Gross. April Teresa Jones. Laditra Jones King. Deborah Ann Klein. Gina P. Laird, cum laude. Sherelle Denab Mallard. Angela R. Nelson. Kimberly S. Robinson. Veranda C. Robinson Anderson. Brenda Joyce Serenin, cum laude. Lori Spolsky, magna cum laude. Kristinette Franklin Thompson. Charlene Patricia Waller. Latoya Wanda Watson. Lori A. White, magna cum laude. Deborah Young. For the degree of Bachelor of Science, will those Bachelor of Science candidates please rise? Marcia Elizabeth Allen. Melvin B. Benson III, cum laude. Linda Lee Bolduck, cum laude. Donna M. Bungerson Floor, summa cum laude. Jacqueline S. Bowen. Charlita Brown, magna cum laude. Sharon Bryan. Melissa Marie Bowman. Julie R. Caraway. Diana L. Carter Reed. Deborah Ann Coleman. Elizabeth A. Colligan. Lori E. Craven, magna cum laude. Deborah LaRue Cross. Tanya Denise Crumbly. Carol B. Colbreth. Amelia B. Daly. Marte Danette Davis. Juan Martin de la Pina, cum laude. Leonard John DeFranco, magna cum laude. Brock H. Diebert. Sandra Casper Dodds, cum laude. Kathleen Ann Downs, cum laude. Christina M. O. Drucker, magna cum laude. Tanya Gisele Finger. Anthony Floyd Jr. Crystal R.F.R. Gilbert Graham. Deborah Ann Gore, cum laude. Lori Renee Hamilton. Iris A. Hammerquist. Danelle Hawkins. Lita Farron Hembry. Jeffrey E. Highland, summa cum laude. Kelly Helene Honer. Donna Lynn Jeffries. Emery L. Johnson III. Rashida Medallion Johnson. Tanya Jones. Kevin Judge, magna cum laude. Christy L. Keeley, cum laude. Margaret Kerr, magna cum laude. Lenora Jones King. Michael J. Kolar, cum laude. Hollis L. Lespoir. Chanel Lewis. Keisha Ardell Mapp. Ronald Paul Madison Sr. Jennifer L. Magliente, cum laude. Catherine Tressel Mattingly, magna cum laude. Devin Jerome Mayo. Derek McBride. Alan J. McCouch, summa cum laude. Christina Seving McDonald, summa cum laude. Brian H. McKenna. Olivia Ann Morales. Shannon Renee Mosley. Paul O. Wanamaker. Robert G. Otto, cum laude. Trung Pham. Kelly C. Qualls. Margaret E. Rahill, magna cum laude. Jennifer Ramos, magna cum laude. Avril S. Roberts, summa cum laude. Erica B. Samuels, cum laude. Ayanette P. Santiago. Dorothy Colleen Seymour, cum laude. Aisha W. Stiles. Sonia Lee Sullivan, magna cum laude. Christina Denise Tyler. Desiree Lynn Ward, summa cum laude. Nadine Warder, cum laude. Audretta Louise Watkins. Tashara Danielle Weaver. Tanya D. Whaley. Heidi A. White, cum laude. Bridget Williams. Sharita L. Williams. And Stanley Williams.
I congratulate you, Bachelors of Arts and Bachelors of Science. Now, Sister Roseanne Quinn, Dean of the Graduate School, will present the candidates for master's degrees.
Will the candidates for master's degrees please stand? Sister President, the candidates whose names appear in the official commencement program under the headings Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality, Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality and Spiritual Direction, Master of Science in Administration of Human Services, Master of Science in Counseling Psychology and Human Services, and Master of Science in Applied Technology, and Master of Education, have completed satisfactorily the required courses of study at Chestnut Hill College and have complied faithfully with the standards of this institution. Therefore, as Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, I have the honor to present these master's candidates to you.
By the authority vested in me as president of Chestnut Hill College under her charter from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer upon you the degrees of Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality, Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality and Spiritual Direction, Master of Science in the Administration of Human Services, Master of Science in Applied Technology, Master of Science in Counseling Psychology and Human Services, and Master of Education, to which you are recommended, admitting you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto throughout the world, signed and sealed in the Great Seal, in testimony whereof you will receive the diploma of the college.
And I ask that the members of the audience reserve their applause until all candidates for each master's degree have received their diplomas. All be seated except for the Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality and Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality and Spiritual Direction. For the degree Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality, Oksana Maria Larson, Jessica Lee Morgan, and for the degree Master of Arts in Holistic Spirituality and Spiritual Direction, Judith Foster Cute, Maria Nusiro Tull. For the degree Master of Science in Administration of Human Services, Lynette Carolyn Anderson, Lisa Marie Betts, Susan Elaine Giacchetti, Catherine A. Long, Zakia M. Robbins, Jennifer N. Tartaro, Nancy J. Goff, for the degree Master of Science in Applied Technology. I was not trying to accelerate. Nancy J. Goff, Colleen M. Kaiser, Diane M. Krause, Jennifer Renee Nelson, Jennifer Lynn Tunney, Michael Anthony Valero. And for the degree Master of Science in Counseling Psychology and Human Services, Crystal Lynn Booth, Robert John Boyce, Alyssa Lee Brown, Kathleen McCann Capiello, Christopher Peter Clark, Marianne Conway, Janine Lee DeLardo, Brian J. Facciano, Sheila A. Fritz, Llewellyn David Gordon, Brandy Elizabeth Hellman, Claire A. Henchy, Yoshika Ishikawa, Melanie Marie Jupin, Jennifer Therese Lentz, Valerie A. Medea, Naoko Matsumoto, Lorraine Stephanie McLean, Cara Bailey Mifflin, Sandra Ann O'Terry, Jeanette Perrin McGraw, Lisa Michelle Smith, Elise Ann Simia, Susan J. Thornton, Leslie A. Whistler, and Christopher K. Wilson. For the degree Master of Education, Teresa Rose Albers, Sharon Therese Badalato, Tia Marie Barkley, Deborah Lynn Brown, Rosemary Mimi Burke, Cindy Sharon Cathay, Lori Brooke Cohen, Lori Ann Crittenden, Stephanie Arlene DaCosta, Mary Ann DeCaro, Mary Ann Dumanska, Lynn Domenico, Frances Ann Dunzy, Felicia Marie Foreman, Carolyn M. Friedman, Catherine L. Ginter, Darlena Valestine Graves, Margaret M. Gunnelfinger, Claire Annette Jacobs, Paulette S. Johnson, Anne Regina Joyce, Janet Wandler Lucky, Cheryl Minnick, Aracenda Palacios, Jacqueline Palmer, Kristen Marie Pavlik, Angeline G. Payne, Carmen Guzman Ryder, Mary Elizabeth Sabarino, Joanne Seymour Matthews, Barbara Elizabeth Smith, Lisa N. Walker Whaley, Lauren A. White, Teresa Marie Williams Abney, Kimberly S. Wisser, Doris Irvin Yarbrough, and Miriam Diane Zellis.
I congratulate you, Masters of Arts, Masters of Science, and Masters of Education. Today we begin a new tradition with the conferral of doctoral degrees.
Sister President, the candidates whose name appear in the official commencement program under the heading Doctor of Clinical Psychology, please stand. These students have completed satisfactorily the required courses of study at Chestnut Hill College and have complied faithfully with the standards of this institution. Therefore, as Dean of the School of Graduate Studies, I have the honor to present these doctoral candidates to you.
Each of the candidates for Doctor of Clinical Psychology will come to the stage with the director of her dissertation, who will place the doctoral hood on the candidate after the candidate has received her diploma. These directors are Dr. Scott Browning, Dr. Cheryl Rothery Jackson, Dr. Thomas Klee, Dr. Judith Marsh. By the authority vested in me as president of Chestnut Hill College, under her charter from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I confer upon you the degree Doctor of Clinical Psychology, to which you are recommended, admitting you to all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto throughout the world, signed and sealed in the Great Seal, in testimony whereof you will receive the diploma of the college.
Will the candidates for the Doctor of Clinical Psychology please come forward? Francine A. Barbada. Sandra Ann Baumgartner. Heather Renee DeGroot. Catherine Jeanette Taylor. And Brenda A. Yost.
I congratulate you, Doctors of Clinical Psychology. If anyone has need of help, there'll be little tents outside. Doctors, in recognition of your newly conferred degrees, I invite you to take your place with the faculty and to join with them in the recessional. Please come around to the seats on my right. Congratulations, colleagues. Dr. William Walker, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Dean of the Faculty, will present the criteria for and describe the recipient of the Christian R. and Mary F. Lindback Award for Distinguished Teaching.
Each year, the Lindback Foundation makes it possible to acknowledge a distinguished teacher. A distinguished teacher is defined by the Foundation as one who is intellectually stimulating, challenging, and accessible, one committed to the life of the mind and the spirit, and to the temporal and eternal well-being of students. A committee of students, faculty, and administrators reviewed nominations, deliberated on them, and offered recommendations to the president from among the outstanding nominees. Our distinguished professor is one, and I quote from the nomination, who teaches in such a way that you keep interested in everything being discussed, whose energy, liveliness, and humor are real assets to all of us, students, faculty, and staff, who is respectful of all, interested in the welfare of students, who is an intelligent, innovative, and spirited teacher and researcher, and who is active in many aspects of college life and upholds the mission and values of Chestnut Hill College. Sister President, it is my privilege to request that you present the Christian R. and Mary F. Lindback Award for Distinguished Teaching and the Lindback Check for $4,000 to Professor of Psychology, Dr. Scott Browning.
Alumnae and brother alumni, we come at last to the moment of parting. Each of you, whether the youngest graduate in the College for Women or the oldest in the schools of continuing or graduate studies, came to this college with hopes, dreams, and goals. You now have the tools to realize your dreams. To our first doctors of psychology, I urge you to be women of deep compassion and strength. Never let human weakness compromise your faith in the nobility of the human spirit. To the new master's degree graduates, I exhort you to practice your professions with integrity, honesty, and sensitivity to others. Be who you are, even when others ask you to be less. To the accelerated graduates, I salute the journey you have taken to this degree. Well done. Your achievement is all the more noteworthy because of the price you had to pay to attain it, and I don't mean tuition. Let your success remind you daily that it is never too late to pursue a dream. And to the last graduates of the College for Women, I beg you to take what you have learned here and who you have become here and share it with the women with whom you will work and among whom you will live. Be role models and mentors for those who will never have the great good fortune to attend a women's college. To all the graduates, I say, at the beginning of the 21st century, you stand on the brink of worlds unexplored. The Southern writer Eudora Welty adroitly observes that all serious daring comes from within. The dream, the vision, the hope, the belief in what is yet to be is the beginning of something new. Believe in your dreams, fashion your vision, and deepen your beliefs. What lies before you is limited only by your imagination. Think creatively and act boldly. Never fear to do what no one else has done, to think what no one else has thought, or to go where no one yet has gone. By such boldness, you will create the future. Today, as we close this graduation, all of us begin a new future, even the college from which you are graduating. That is both filled with excitement and fraught with a tinge of anxiety. But nevertheless, boldly, all of us will move forward together. I close with a paraphrase from part of a poem by Rainer Maria Rilke. We are living just as the century begins. A great leaf that God and you and I have covered with writing turns now overhead in strange hands. We feel the sweep of it like a wind. We see the brightness of a new page where everything yet can happen. For you, dear graduates, everything yet can happen. Go forth and fill the pages of your lives with deeds and words worthy of being written. God bless you. Sister Mary Dara, Assistant to the President for Mission and Ministry, will join with me for the missioning of the class of 2003. Will the graduates please stand? We, the Chestnut Hill College community, commission the class of 2003 to go forth. We charge you to proclaim with your voices, to cherish in your hearts, to underscore with your lives the mission you have lived as Chestnut Hill College students. We challenge you to dedicate yourself to the highest purposes of life and of your chosen professions. In the words of the prophet Micah and of our mission statement, we exhort you to act justly,
to address courageously issues of social justice by fostering a correct relationship to God, self, others, and the earth,
to love tenderly,
to cherish all that is good, all that is holy in the diverse cultures and peoples of the world, and always, in all things, to engage in the pursuit of truth, wisdom, human understanding, and knowledge, both for yourselves and others.
And to walk humbly with your God.
To be responsible leaders who dare to change and to grow personally, professionally, and spiritually. Leaders who are actively and creatively involved in society and aware of world conditions. Leaders who have the courage to carry God into the culture.
Will the members of the Board of Directors, the administration, faculty, staff, and all alumni or alumni who are present, please stand to mission the 2003 graduates. May you who have passed through these hallowed halls look back and say, through our great good fortune in our youth or in our older youth, our hearts were turned to fire. Class of 2003, we commission you to go forth with our blessing and trust that your lives will reflect to the world the light of love and truth gleaned from this college called Chestnut Hill. What you have received as a gift, give as a gift. May I ask everyone now to stand for the alma mater and remain standing for the benediction. After the benediction, we ask you to be seated for one moment for the hail and farewell to the College for Women. The benediction will be offered by Dr. Brenda A. Yost, class of 2003.
grateful to you, God, our Creator, for looking so graciously upon us and for guiding us in overcoming challenges so that we could participate in today's commencement. We wholeheartedly thank you for your blessings upon this graduating class as we strive to attain our educational goals. We have a deep appreciation for your blessings upon our families, friends, faculty, and staff who encouraged and supported us throughout our scholarly journey. Heavenly God, all your actions show your wealth of wisdom. Thank you for filling us with limitless learning and nourishing our spirits. Your love and quiet power fills the air that surrounds us on this day. Loving God, you have planted satisfying seeds of wisdom in us. May they blossom and grow in all our future endeavors. You have equipped us with everything good so that we may do your will. God, our Creator, may your knowledge lead us, the warmth of your love hold us, and the presence of your courage embrace us as we encounter life's pleasures and pains. May the memories and knowledge that we gather here at Chestnut Hill College give us hope for the future. May the enrichment gained here bring strength and joy to our hearts. May the peace of the Chestnut Hill College community be with us as we continue on our way. God of the universe, please send us forth, protect us from all anxieties, and continue to bless us with creativity, fulfillment, and happiness. May the peace, mercy, and love of God be with us all. Amen.
You can take part. LaSalle's graduation is 3 hours and 45 minutes. We're almost finished. The hail and farewell will be delivered by alumna Anna K. O'Connor, class of 2003, and Sheena Trainer, class of 2004. Participating in the ritual will be members of the incoming first-year class, the class of 2007 from Chestnut Hill College. Karen Jenna Abbott Frederick is the granddaughter of an alumna of the college, and Daniel Joseph Burke will be the fourth generation in his family to attend Chestnut Hill College, albeit the first male to do so. We are most grateful that they could be with us on this historic occasion. Immediately following the ritual, the platform party and the graduates will leave the tent. Please remain in your places until the graduates have left the tent, and I thank you for your kind attention.
A reading from the history of the college, Tradition and Risk, by Sister Mary Helen Kashuba. It was because college and teachers and we believed in the future that they moved forward together to create a forum for truth and beauty, a path to leadership and scholarship, and an atmosphere to develop mind, body, and spirit. They forged ahead fearlessly. Risks were the material that wove the fabric of success. And it is on such traditions that the college faces a new century of risks. And so we come to the end of the road less traveled. The road chosen by the Sisters of St. Joseph in 1924, when they founded a college for women. Unlike the traveler in Robert Frost's famous poem, the college in 2003 has the opportunity to walk down the road that was kept for another day. This afternoon, we celebrate an ending that is not an ending at all, but the continuation of a journey marked by a noble tradition and a history of risk-taking. Let us give thanks for the past, and let us look with confidence to a future full of hope. Tradition and Risk, A History of Chestnut Hill College, Volume 1. Two roads diverged in a wood, and we took the one less traveled by, keeping the first for another day, to be continued.
A paraphrase reading from Four Quartets by T.S. Eliot. Time present and time past are both perhaps present in time future, and time future contained in time past. In my beginning is my end, and to make an end is to make a beginning. The end is where we start from. The prologue to the future of women and men move with determination down the passage which we did not take, towards the door we never opened, into the rose garden. Tradition and Risk, Volume 2. We see the brightness of a new page, where everything yet can happen. A continuation of the history of Chestnut Hill College.
Platform party, the graduates and faculty would please rise. We will now recess from the tent.